Hi, my name is Diane from Zukyun Beauty, and today we're going to learn how to do our own DIY eyelash extension. So these are applied in 9 minutes at home and they last 1 week. They're water resistant, sweat proof, and sleep proof. So first let's go over the things you need to apply your own eyelashes at home. So first you need these 2 items from your Zukyun starter bundle, your lash glue, which is also called your Lash Bond, that's black in color, and it's got 1 line on the bottle, and also your Lash Sealant, which has 2 lines on the bottle to represent step 2. You also need your Zukyun Applicator, and this is for applying your eyelash extensions, and then also for squeezing your lashes together as a last step, which is important for a seamless finish and to make your lashes last longer. You also need an eyelash curler, just any old eyelash curler from a drugstore will do. You need a hands-free mirror that you can look downwards into, and it's important to be able to change the angle of this mirror and look downwards into it. That's because these eyelashes are applied to the underside of your own eyelashes, so you need to see the underside of your eyelashes or your waterline. And then it would also be good to have a Q-tip handy so that you can lift up your eyelid as you're applying your lashes. It's important to keep the tips of your eyelash applicator clean, because if these tips are sticky, then you'll be taking away your eyelashes as you apply, which is obviously not what we want. And you can clean them with an oil-based eye makeup remover and some tissue. Let's get started.
When you first open your lash pack, it will look like this, and the inner corner lashes are located in the center of the lash pack. The other lashes are all the same length. You can remove lashes from the pack with a very sharp tweezer like this. You can also remove lashes with your fingers if you don't have that handy. Bend the lash pack to protect your lashes when removing them. So where should we apply our lash bond onto our clusters? This part is the top side of the cluster that goes underneath your eyelash. However, the bottom side here doesn't stick onto anything. We don't actually need any lash bond on the bottom of the lash cluster. So that's why we need to apply lash bond all alongside the top side of the base. Swipe the top side base of the lash cluster towards you until you collect a glob of lash bond onto the top side base. 1 to 2 millimeters of lash bond is a good amount. Now we're going to curl our natural eyelashes. Curling at the root of your natural lashes is important if you don't want to see lashes in your vision after you're done. We will now be applying lash bond underneath our natural lashes. Some people find it easier to bend the lash bond first.
So just lifting my eyelid up with a Q-tip, I'm just gonna go in and dab the bond, which is our adhesive, onto the underside of my lashes. And don't worry about getting the outermost eyelashes here or the innermost ones, because we are not really gonna be sticking our eyelashes onto there. So I'm just dotting it and wiggling it onto the base of my own lashes. I'm not swiping through. I'm not doing that. I'm not swiping through to the tips like I would with mascara. That's because I want to avoid the lash tips.
This is a good amount of lash bond on my natural lashes. Less is more. When applying your lash cluster, don't clip it from the side like this. And also don't try to apply it like this from this angle. What you want to do is hold the applicator vertically like a pen when you're applying, so the back end of the applicator is facing the ceiling. And every time you should also clip the lash cluster from its center and from its lash tips.
So we're going to take our first eyelash cluster here, and I like to start from the inner corner. So this is the shorter eyelash in your pack, and then you're just going to look downwards into your mirror and then apply it to your innermost lashes, and then yep, you can see it's already on like that. And then once it's just lightly attached on like that, you're just going to take either a clean finger or the other end of your applicator and just slightly nudge it upwards, just very lightly, just kind of like nudging it upwards onto your eyelash. So I'll just show you what it looks like with the finger as well, like that. And then afterwards, as a last step, we're going to squeeze everything together with the applicator and the lash sealant, and that's going to lock the lashes in even more so. So don't worry if they look loose here or untidy, because that's all going to be resolved in the last step. I just want to show you the angle that you should be putting your lash clusters at. So if you're doing the inner corner, you want to be moving your wrist and therefore your applicator. So this kind of motion. And just making sure that the base of the cluster is lined up with your waterline. So if I'm doing the inner corner, it's going to be at this angle. If I'm doing the middle part of my eye, it's going to be at this angle, and the base of the lash cluster is parallel to the floor. If I'm doing the end of my eye, I'm going to be turning my wrist and putting the cluster like that at that angle. Your applicator gets sticky. Just make sure you're cleaning it with a oily makeup remover while you're putting on your clusters. And so I just want to put this cluster right next to the first cluster. So now I'm doing my third cluster, and I'm just putting it right next to the second one. And there you go. That is on now. And I have a little bit of a gap at the end of my eye, but I don't think I need a full cluster because I'm going to cut the cluster into half and fill in the gap at the end. So just dropping it at the end, making sure it's right next to the other lash cluster so everything looks seamless.
Here I want to show you what everything looks like underneath my eyelid and also how seamless everything looks, and this is even before I've squeezed my lashes.
Just applied our eyelashes on, and now it's time for the last step, which is squeezing and sealing everything together. So why it's very important to squeeze is so that you can lock the lashes in, they last longer. We need our lash sealant, which is this one, and it's the bottle with 2 lines on it to represent step 2, and it is transparent in color. So you take your lash sealant and you apply it to the inside of your applicator plates, and you do that by just clamping down on your sealant brush a couple times, and then you can squeeze your eye in 3 sections, kind of the outer bit, the middle, and the inner, and each time you squeeze you hold for 2 seconds. Go in and squeeze just like that at the base of my lashes. If it gets stuck, you blink and it comes off. And there you go. Again, you don't want to be squeezing here. This is not the part you should be squeezing. You want to be squeezing in here. You can try to see which angle works best for you, because sometimes that's different on different eyes. Flip your applicator this way, flip your applicator this way. Hold it with a different hand sometimes, especially if you're doing your other eye. Sometimes going across your face to hold it also works. And I just want to rest the inner plate on my eyelid. I'm gonna put it down, rest the inner plate onto my eyelid so it's touching my eyelid and I feel it, and then slowly close. So that way you avoid clamping together your eyelid skin.
Woohoo, now you're done. It does take a little bit of practice at the beginning, but the more you practice, the longer your lashes will last you and the faster you'll get.
A certain part of my lash is a little bit clumpy, but you can take a very sharp tweezer, kind of like this, and just looking into your mirror, just kind of combing through.